As someone who's played a lot of versions of SMT1, and who's beaten this game probably close to 100 times now, I think SMT1 is a very polished game for its time, and aside from some minor bugs here and there, you will likely experience the game the whole way through without many blunders. However, there are many bugs and glitches lurking underneath the polished exterior of SMT1, and I'll be covering every bug that we're aware of, and if relevant, how they've impacted the speedrunning scene for this game. If you like more Megaden content, make sure to follow, as I'm currently working on many scripts covering many different games in the series. Before I start, I have to link my sources, and as always, I will mention the biggest expert in the SNES version of Shin Megami Tensei 1, Masaya, as without his work we wouldn't know half of the glitches I will showcase today. Visit his website and show him some support. There are even more glitches and crazy stuff there that I couldn't cover in this video. For all the other versions, my references are at wiki. Without further ado, let's start with the oldest version of SMT1. The shop glitch is easy to do and lets you purchase and sell hidden items in any shop in the game. All you have to do is hold A after confirming that you want to go into the buy menu, then press B without letting go of A. This will select an item that's not visible, but is a 0 numbered item in the list, and gives you a chance to buy it. This item differs depending on what shop you go to. For most shops, this item is an attack knife, but in the Guy After the Apocalypse, for example, you can buy an Amano Murakumo, one of the best swords in the game. It is also possible to do this glitch in the sell options and sell the 0 numbered item in your inventory, giving you a quick way to get infinite money. Everyone knows that after Kongo Shinkai, the game stops using yen and starts using maka, so you lose all your money. Well, if you had a full inventory after leaving Kongo Shinkai, upon talking to the homeless man that asked you for money, all your yen automatically transforms into maka. This glitch was fixed in revision 1 in the Nintendo Switch Online versions. Allegedly, this glitch also happens if you have max magnetite, though that is hard to reproduce. It's possible to skip the Tokyo government building fights after the Great Flood by using the entrance to the cathedral from the opposite alignment of your ending. So in law, by entering North Cathedral, you can complete the game without defeating Ravan and Indrajit, and similarly for Chaos without defeating Vishnu. In neutral, you have to defeat at least one of the two. Indulgence, as it was translated in the SFC version, or Menzaitsu in Japanese, is an item that expels every law line demon in the battle that is not a boss fight. But due to a bug, this item can expel any demon of any alignment, and it can expel some boss fights as well. If a character wearing a curse item gets killed and revived, it will heal the curse without destroying the accursed equipment. This is the only way to reliably wear the Magician's Mask without staying cursed. On the other hand, it should be noted that if you heal a character cursed by cursed equipment and your inventory is full, the heal will fail, so you'll just lose the money. Tarukaja Overflow is a well-known glitch in SMT2, but it is actually possible to overflow your damage in SMT1 as well. If a character high in strength is wielding a very powerful weapon, such as the Stradivarius, and uses Tarukaja enough times, it is actually possible for your damage to overflow and become very weak. This glitch is not easy to run into, so most people shouldn't have to worry about it in a casual playthrough. In the original version of the game, if your inventory is full when receiving the fake ID from the heroine, you softlock. It is not possible to receive it again even if you clear up the space in the bag, and it becomes impossible to proceed with the game. This was fixed in revision 1 in the Switch version of the game, but it ended up resulting in a different glitch. After successfully fixing the inventory glitch in revision 1, Atlas sighed in relief. Surely they wouldn't create an even worse bug in the process, right? So, in revision 1, if you talk to the heroine with a full inventory, she sends you away and asks you to clear up some space before she can give you the fake ID and join you. The problem is that if you do so and have her join, the fact that she joined is never set to true, so you can keep endlessly having more heroines join your party. This breaks the game pretty quickly. This can occur under different circumstances, but the easiest to reproduce is attempting to triple fuse high ranked demons, but they don't have a high ranked demon to be fused into, for example triple fusing Indra, Giramakala and Yaksa. This will result in a bug demon that usually has this red hobgoblin appearance with an amputated arm, and their names are usually just gibberish. One that can occur is called Maragion, another one can be Becoming the World. As you might imagine, these names are just random strings in memory that are loaded as the placeholder for the name, and the demons have insane stats and will probably just crash the game. On the chance that you manage to successfully fuse it, it can be continuously chained into other demons, or you can use it in battle as your emergency bazooka, as it will destroy everything. Little known fact is that it's actually possible to get a back attack in SMT1. By doing so, you are automatically turned around to face the demon attacking you, and if you successfully escape and happen to be right in front of an event trigger, such as the Black Baron in Roppongi or the conversation that triggers the Great Flood, you can bypass these events altogether. The chance of a back attack is very low, so these are not easy at all to reproduce, especially keeping Law Hero, as you need to set up specific circumstances for demons to spawn in the space before Belial. In SMT1 there are two dead state conditions, dying and dead. Normally if you try to revive a dying character and it fails, they move into the dead state. However, there are some bugs related to this process. If a demon is dying and you try to revive them at any healing location, so a healer, Messiah, or Gaia, and the revival fails,
You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!
the demon is just gone, just like that. If you try to revive a dying character, any character, with a gold pill and it fails, for some reason the main character goes into dead state. And the worst one, if you try to revive a human character with Samarikarm, and Samarikarm fails, you can lose the human character. This is very unlikely, but the threat is there. The extermination glitch is a state that the game is put when every character is in dying or dead status, but the game doesn't trigger game over. This can be set up in a few ways, the base of the setup being most party members are dead, and then for the remaining one, you'll find a way to kill them without the game ending. Some examples are having the hero and heroine both be dead in Roppongi before the Law Hero is taken away by Black Baron, having the remaining alive party member turn to stone in a fight or through the tiles in TDL, by using a revival failure that puts the hero in a dead state, or in the same battle that the remaining party member used a rosary or a Nyorai statue, having that character die to an instant kill spell. This being the most notable setup as it's the one used in the 80% speedrun. When the game is in this limbo state, it becomes extremely difficult to run away from random encounters, and on opening the equipment menu, the cursor breaks as it has no living character to point to, so it becomes possible to access random values in memory. Opening these values can cause the game to crash or collision to break, making it possible to walk in memory, even all the way to the cathedral to trigger the ending of the game. Probably the hardest to reproduce and also the craziest. This glitch happens if you set a character to do an action, such as using an item or summoning a demon from the comp, and that action is never carried out because the character is bound. In SMT1, auto only has one mode, physical attacks only, as other auto modes like auto repeat were only added later. But if you set a user to summon a demon or use an item and they get stunned by freeze, sleep, or bind, the action gets carried out even in auto mode when the status effects wears out. The game basically puts your action on top of a stack that is otherwise filled with physical attacks, and when the status effect wears out and your character can move again, the game does the stacked action and otherwise just attacks normally. However, this behavior changes if you finish the battle before the stacked action is carried out, for example by escaping, or by another action killing the enemy. Usually this is preventable because sleep and freeze wear out automatically after a battle ends, but bind stays across battles. So if you enter a new battle and auto until the bind wears out, eventually your action gets carried out once, and then again, and then again. The game no longer fills a stack with normal attacks and instead keeps repeating the same action that you had programmed. So you can probably imagine how this leads to problems. The game is not programmed to handle these actions being repeated automatically, so it does not have failsafe mechanisms to prevent glitches from happening. So if you auto glitch while using an item and you run out of that item, it goes beyond 0, and yes, it underflows. This can cause your inventory to completely break because of limited memory space. But it gets worse. If you auto glitch while summoning a demon, it will continue summoning instances of that demon until your power is full. They are all technically the same instance, so if you take one hit, all of them do as well. If you save and reset in the bind state, you'll get multiple instances of the hero instead. It is also possible to clone other party members, but you have to create the bind state with a demon that has Sabatoma instead, like Kotoshiro Nushi. Finally, you can use this glitch in order to execute arbitrary code. If in between getting bound and executing the auto glitch, you open items menu and set the cursor on an item, cancelling back after that, the comp will execute the address of that item instead. Using this setup, it's possible to execute arbitrary code written as a character's name, which can lead to some bizarre results, such as setting any character's level to 255, obtaining impossible demons, or jumping straight to the ending. If some of you have been brave enough to try the TurboCD version, you might have encountered this game-breaking bug relating to the game. Shoutouts to fellow brave-hearted speedrunners and gamers B-Man and Filthy Blasphemer, who've tried multiple times to run this version and who were victims of this evil creature. You see, in the TurboCD version of SMT1, after you get the turtle or the octopus at the cathedral in order to navigate for Tokyo, there is a chance that they'll appear in boss fights next to the boss as this invisible enemy that you can't defeat, but which doesn't attack you either, and worst of all, doesn't let you win the fight, because the game thinks there's still an enemy left. And if you try to attack it, the game freezes because it's not actually an enemy you can fight, so the game just softlocks. The reason why this happens isn't clear, but my guess is that the game must mistakenly load the turtle into a memory address that's also used for fights, with multiple types of enemies, which results in it appearing in fights. The only known way to avoid this, according to @wiki, is by heading into the water without taking the turtle. This is without it playing the animation or the turtle rising above the water to help you swim. The suggested way to do this is by registering the terminal at Tokyo Tower and transferring there, then exiting the building, as that puts you right into the water for Tokyo without the animation being loaded. Unfortunately, this is quite a dangerous bug, so for anyone curious to try this version of SMT1, please be aware of the turtle, and remember to save often. This one is for the two MegaCD fans out there. There were many small changes made to the inner calculations of SMT1 that led to minor bugs in this version, such as stat glitches. For example, raising speed actually increases not only your accuracy and evasion, but also the damage dealt with a sword for any character. This is weird as is, but even weirder is that using Tsukokage in a fight actually lowers your damage dealt with a sword. Makakaja also doesn't raise your magic stat at all, despite the text saying so. And some spells just had their chance of hitting tremendously lowered, like the debuff spells such as Terune Rakunda, which would always hit. Moreover, spells like Samarikarum, which actually virtually would never fail to revive your character in the original, now have a much lower chance of reviving, with some users guessing that it only works 10 to 20% of the time. There are many examples of the formulas having been changed for this version, but these aren't even the worst offenders. Let's look into some other ones. If you get cursed with fly status, your speed goes up to 40, but your HP decreases considerably, making you vulnerable like a little fly. It just so happens that in this version, if you level up while cursed with fly status and increase your HP or MP through your stat assignments, your max HP and MP get stuck on the cursed values even after curing it. You can reverse it by getting hit with energy drain, but avoid leveling up while being cursed, as this is a hassle to deal with. And did you know you can level up too much and soft lock yourself? In any other version of SMT1, the max EXP you can gain from a fight is capped at 65,000 experience, but they forgot to add this cap to the MegaCD version. So if you defeat a fiend at level 30, you can earn upwards of 2 million EXP, putting you above the level 99 cap. But what does it mean to put you above level 99 when that's the maximum? Well, you end up with so many stat points to assign that the game gets stuck in the level up screen, and you just soft lock. So beware of fighting fiends when you're too low level. Anything beyond level 40 should be safe. But by far the most baffling glitch has to do with smoke bombs. Smoke bombs are a recurrent item in Meg 10 games, as they're the items you can use in battle to escape the encounter. They have the same effect as using Trifuri, basically. It just so happens that in the MegaCD version they forgot to add a check to see if a certain fight is a random encounter or a boss fight when you use a smoke bomb. So you can escape from any boss fight in the game, including Asura and Michael. Ironically, smoke bombs are sold in the first floor of the cathedral, so you can just walk in, buy the stock, and just smoke bomb your way through to the end of the game. So that was a lot. Surely by the next remake they'll have learned to properly test and prevent any exploitable glitches, right? In the PlayStation 1 version you can equip nerve bullets to your feet and become invincible. Okay, I'll give you some context beforehand. The PlayStation 1 version of SMT1 was released in 2001, and it's a remake of the original with improved visuals, a remastered soundtrack, and revised UI to match later entries. For the most part, this version of the game is very good, and you should not encounter game-breaking bugs during your playthrough, but there are some exploits that you can take advantage of. For example, when equipping gear, normally you press the type of gear you want to equip, and as long as you have anything to equip, it'll show you the screen with the options available. So if you want to equip a helm and you have headgear, you press the helm option and it'll show you headgear. But if when you're about to press on helm by pressing A, you press the down button on your D-pad at the same time, the game will show your available helmets, but on confirming it, you'll have equipped the helmet to your armor slot. Just make sure not to attempt this by pressing A and up at the same time, this will crash the game. You can do this for any type of equipment, and especially fascinating is what happens if you equip nerve bullets to your boot slot, as for some reason you become invincible. No damage or status effects can now hit you. The only way to get damage is if you have your own damage reflected back to you, so watch out for those physical reflectors. You can equip guns to your sword slot and end up with some very powerful multi-hit swords that you can buy at the weapon store, such as the railgun. So it sure would be a perfect match if there was some sort of shop glitch, right? Well, you're in luck. At any weapons or armor shop, you can attempt to purchase an item, and as you're specifying how much of the item you want, if you press A and down, you can end up confirming that you want 0 of that item, so in this case, 0 railguns, and paying 0 maka for it. But afterwards, the shopkeeper asks you if you want to equip this item, and you can equip it and keep it without having paid anything. You just need to have enough money to be able to buy at least one of the item you're attempting to glitch buy, as otherwise the shopkeeper will tell you don't have enough money and the counter won't appear, and you need to equip it. This only works with gear you can equip, of course, so you unfortunately can't buy other items for free. But this is a very easy way to grind money, as weapons and armor are usually the most expensive items you can buy anyways, so you can just sell them back again. All things considered, these glitches aren't even that bad, and we only have one more version left. I'm happy to report that the GBA version of SMT1 has no major glitches. Atlas did it! The ultimate version of SMT1 in all its 240p glory. The only reproducible bug in this game has to do with save corruption. It's possible to corrupt a save by purposefully powering off the console, or having it run out of battery, of course. This corrupted save then disappears, but is still readable if you try to load the save file from within the game. By doing so, you can actually obtain all the demons the corrupted save previously had. In the save corruption category, you load the previously corrupted save and use trap words, which automatically puts you in your last visited terminal, which is the cathedral. Then you simply walk into Asur's room and defeat it. These are all the glitches I can find. It's wonderful how much you can break a game when you put your heart into it. I want to especially shout out Nico Nicomasia, who compiled extremely thorough, extensive information about the glitches of the SNES version over the years. His research has been invaluable, and he's a source of basically every 80% version for the Mega 10 SNES trilogy. Thank you so much for watching as always. Please follow for more Mega 10 content. I'll keep covering these older and other modern Mega 10 games, as well as go into other spin-offs that some people might not be as familiar with. For the one Devil Children fan watching, stay tuned. That was it for me, see you next time.